This is the Mind the Gap podcast from the Time Signal Limited. It's presented by Michael Comyn. Please like, subscribe and share with your friends. Program notes and more information are available on mindthegap.ie. Here's Michael.
Have you heard the news? Do you know what they're saying about you? Gossip. Rumour. And it's interesting that it's a topic where, when we're talking about minding the gap, there's often a massive gap between reality and fiction. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that affects all of us. Rumours. Rumours about us personally, or rumours about our business, for example. Why do people find it so much easier to listen to rumour than to go out of our way to find out the truth? And in this age of social media, why do these whispers spread even faster? To answer these questions, we'll be pulling wisdom from ancient Stoic philosophy, insights from modern neuroscience and emotional intelligence, and looking at the role of social media. Let's get started. Let's admit it, rumours are like a mystery novel. We can't put them down. They draw us in with their tantalising whispers, sparking our curiosity. What is it about rumours that captivate us, even when we're aware they might not be true? Psychologically, rumours are intriguing because they often contain secrets or sensational information. Our brains are naturally wired to pay attention to anything new or potentially threatening. Think about it. If someone says, "Did you hear what happened?" our ears will perk up immediately. That's your brain at work, trying to keep you informed about your surroundings. And this reaction is even more pronounced in today's digital age, where social media amplifies everything. Let's turn our attention to that digital world for a minute. Social media platforms have transformed into rumour factories on overdrive. A single piece of gossip can spiral into a viral sensation with just a few clicks, reaching thousands or even millions in a matter of hours. The speed and reach of social media makes it fertile ground for rumours to grow, often outpacing the actual truth. The algorithms used by social media platforms prioritise content that gets a lot of engagement, likes, shares and comments. And as it turns out, rumours and sensational stories tend to get a lot of engagement because they evoke strong emotions. Dr. Nicholas DiFonso, a psychologist who studied rumours psychology, says,
"People share rumors to make sense of situations and to feel more informed or in control. By amplifying these impulses, social media can make rumors feel more credible simply because they are widely shared."
Moreover, the echo chamber effect, where people are exposed primarily to opinions that kind of match their own, can spread rumours even more efficiently. This means that we often interact with people who share our values and beliefs on social media, creating that echo chamber effect where our opinions are echoed and reinforced. If a rumour fits our already believed narrative, we're more likely to share it without checking its validity. This is why misinformation can spread rapidly on social media, creating a false sense of agreement and consensus. Let's bring in the Stoics. These ancient philosophers had solid advice about handling life's ups and downs, including rumours.
Epictetus, a former slave turned influential Stoic teacher, believed that you should not be troubled by what is said about you. His teachings emphasize the idea that you can't control what others say, and you should instead focus on your own actions and responses. The example he sets is one of personal responsibility and inner tranquility, especially when faced with the challenge of harmful talk.
He went on to say,
"We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But he also warned that not everything we hear is worth listening to.
The Stoics believed that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and reactions, rather than getting caught up in the gossip and opinions of others. Another famous Stoic, Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, viewed gossip as something external and beyond one's control. He advised that you shouldn't let the opinions of others disturb your inner peace. He famously implied that the damage from gossip only occurs when you let it affect your self-assurance, and his approach encourages you to focus on what is within your control.
The Stoics remind us to be discerning and to question the value of the information we consume. Instead of letting rumours steer our thoughts, they urge us to seek truth and live by our values. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about what's happening in our brains when we hear a rumour. Neuroscience gives us some fascinating insights here. Our brains are actually hardwired to pay attention to rumours, especially when they involve social information. Why? Because as social creatures, knowing what's happening with others helps us navigate social situations and build relationships. Dr. Daniel Goleman, the psychologist who brought the concept of emotional intelligence to the mainstream, explains that our brains have a built-in radar for gossip. The amygdala, the part of our brain that handles emotions, especially fear and anxiety, gets activated when we hear a rumour. This triggers an emotional alarm that makes us pay extra attention. Goleman says,
"Our emotional brain is wired to respond to the social cues of the people around us, which makes sense when you think about how rumors often come loaded with emotional content. When our emotions are triggered, our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that deals with rational thinking, takes a back seat. This can make thinking critically about the information we're receiving more complicated. So we end up reacting to the rumor rather than questioning it."
So how can we navigate the cloudy waters of rumour? Well, this is where emotional intelligence, or EQ, steps in. Emotional intelligence empowers us to be aware of and manage our emotions effectively. Daniel goes on to say,
"Emotional intelligence is not about being soft. It's about being smart with your emotions. And that's precisely what we need when dealing with the storm of rumors."
First, let's talk about self-awareness. When we hear a rumour, take a moment to check in with yourself. What are you feeling? Why does this piece of gossip bother you? By understanding your emotional reactions, you can respond in a way that aligns with your values rather than just reacting impulsively. Then there's empathy, another critical aspect of the emotionally intelligent individual. Understanding why someone would spread rumours can help us to make them, less threatening and indeed less personal to us. People often gossip because they're dealing with their insecurities or they want to feel more important. By empathizing with them, and it's not easy, we can respond with understanding rather than anger, which can help diffuse the situation. It won't make you like them any better, but at least you have an insight as to why they might have taken this particular strategy. Finally, good social skills. Communicating effectively and managing relationships are crucial. If rumours are flying around, sometimes the best thing you can do is address them directly, calmly, and honestly. By doing so, you can clear up misunderstandings and stop false information from spreading further. There's also another interesting aspect in the workplace of people who spread gossip, because after a period of time, they get a reputation for not being discreet with information, and they will find themselves ultimately excluded from important projects. So why do we often listen to rumours rather than seek the truth? Well, it's a mix of our natural tendencies, the influence of social media, and social dynamics. The Stoics remind us that our reactions are often driven by emotions, not reason. Neuroscience shows us that our brains are geared to pay attention to social and emotional information, sometimes more than facts. Social media magnifies these tendencies, making rumours seem more credible and urgent. Emotional intelligence teaches us that we can better navigate these tricky waters by being aware of our emotions and those of others. In our fast-paced world, rumours offer a quick, albeit often misleading way to make sense of what's happening around us. Seeking the truth takes more effort, more time, and sometimes the courage to face uncomfortable realities. But, in the long run, truth leads to more stability, trust, and peace of mind. As you go about your day-to-day, take a page from the Stoics. Tune into the wisdom of neuroscience and use emotional intelligence tools. Let's also consider how social media can amplify rumours and misinformation. By doing so, we can become more discerning about what we hear, more mindful of our reactions, and more committed to seeking the truth. As someone in the village where I live put to me recently, when they're talking about you, they're giving me a break. Sometimes it's just our turn. Oscar Wilde might have the last word on the topic today.
There is only one thing in the world worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about at all.
Thank you for joining me. Remember, the next time you hear a rumour, pause, think, and maybe look for the truth instead. It won't be as half an interesting story. Until the next time, stay curious and thoughtful, and constantly question the reality of what you're experiencing. And mind the gap.